Brandon Bradley Beach, Dave?
Oh, that's right.
Live.
You're live.
Hey.
You're live, John.
Yeah, better be. Better be.
Yeah,
It's still live.
It's right.
It's publicly live.
Okay. Just that.
An intimate meeting today.
All right, just want to remind everybody that all council meetings, all of our workshop meetings will be audio and video taped, shown on Channel 22 on Verizon Fios and Channel 77 on Cablevision. Roll call, please.
Mayor Napolitani?
Here.
Deputy Mayor Fisher?
Here.
Councilmember Chair?
yes.
The notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act for this meeting have been satisfied, and a copy of the annual notice was sent to the Asbury Park Press and the Coaster posted in Town Hall and filed in the office of the municipal clerk. On December 14, 2023, let's start off with Greg with our various township projects.
Okay, good evening. I'll just go through the updates, being it's pretty quiet this time of year for construction projects. The only thing that has really changed since last meeting, we've got both the Deal Road sidewalks, that's between Bound and Carberry, the north side of Deal. And the trail, Roller Road, Sunset Roller Road Trail, bike trail, those are both advertised bids being received March 13th. So the road program, kind of following through with that, we're having resident meetings first week of March, so that'll probably be out the bid end of March. So we're moving along with that one.
Good.
And the only other update I'd have would be at 1001 Wickapecka. We're moving along really well. We got our final electrical inspection pass. He's closing all the walls up with the drywall. The bathrooms are coming along very well. Probably another 2 weeks, everything on the inside will be done except the flooring, the drop ceiling, and the painting.
What was the change order about? Why did we need 65?
Insulation, because there's no insulation in that building at all.
Oh, the way,
There was
Did
two
you
things
read-
on there.
oh, go ahead.
Two things. One was the insulation, the other one was for all the additional work we had to do with some other structural problems we had with the one, with the beam when we put in, we found other cracked beams, we had to put a couple more posts in. It's all in that one corner of the building, but that's all been,
So, pardon me for asking, but maybe not. Why didn't we identify that the first, like, when we did the first inspection?
well, it couldn't be identified in the inspection until you tore it all down, because they had a plaster roof in there, and they wouldn't be able to see, can't see it until you
Okay.
tear the roof down.
Okay.
Then we tore the roof down, we put the new big beam in to support the whole area.
Right.
We noticed another beam in the corner cracked when we did that, so we had to put a column in to support that broken piece tied together.
Got it, thank you.
Those are all done behind us now, thank God. Other than that, those are all the changes.
So I got a question for you. On the crosswalk that we've been working on, the Cold Indian.
Oh, and 18, yes.
So there was an update that the resident got about potentially putting a traffic light in there. Have you heard anything about that?
No, have not.
All right.
Traffic light where?
At the corner of Cold Indian and Deal Road, coming down Church on the Hill, some sort of traffic light there to cross. I don't know where this resident got the information from. I just wanted to follow up with you.
No, I haven't heard anything like that.
Apparently there was, they did a traffic study.
Right.
And I guess the results may have come back and that was a conversation. I don't know how that could configure.
Well, that would probably be the easiest way to do it, because you
Okay.
stop traffic and it's easy to put the crosswalk in that way.
Okay.
But I don't know how the geometry would work with the off-ramp coming off 18.
I don't know. Are there gonna be like accessory traffic lights to stop the 18 people?
Yeah, you'd have to change the exit ramp to come in probably square across from Cold Indian.
Well, either this is a hot rumor or an
Yeah.
interesting truth, so let's
It's
see how.
unusual that they would let that out without at least telling the town these are the options.
Once again, it could just be
Yeah.
hearsay, so I just was questioning.
Yeah, no, we haven't heard anything.
All right, so maybe nothing, but keep an eye out, maybe something's coming.
Okay.
What am I gonna ask about? So you think they'll do those sidewalks from Carberry? That should be
April.
April?
Yeah,
Okay.
April. It'll probably be done by May. They'll
All right.
start probably mid-April, be done by May.
I know we were talking about doing some reconfiguration or sidewalk over by Kepwell Park. Where are we at with that?
That one, we had, there was a guy was in front of the planning board on the corner, it's the northeast corner of that intersection. And he has sidewalk around his whole property.
Right.
I worked it out with him, he thought he wasn't gonna have to put it in when Ron Kirk was here, he told me he didn't have to put it in, well, that all got poo-pooed. he's putting that sidewalk in.
Okay.
So that's gonna get us the majority of that, and then next year's road program, I'm gonna realign Cold Indian Springs Road and Bound, so it's
Yeah.
a T intersection. And then we'll put that stop sign, we'll have the crosswalk across the stop sign and back down into Kempo Park.
Well, as someone who's lived in this town for 56 years, that intersection's a disaster from day one. It was an old stagecoach road.
Yeah.
I mean, if they could tee that and make it right.
That's what we're gonna do.
So much. How many times you come around, you gotta pull up and wham, somebody's coming ripping down that road?
Yeah.
So that would be great. This may not necessarily be a question for you, but some people have been looking for the park, by the way. They know it's open, they just can't seem to find the entrance. It's like the entrance to the Bat Cave. So I'm wondering.
Yeah, there's a couple of problems there. One, I don't know if the sign is very visible, but the other problem is it's too wide of an entrance. There's two entrances really.
Yeah.
We have the one that's further to the east, it's kind of like a driveway that quick down the real driveway. And then there's a wide area which that guy used to use for parking on the backside of his Kepo building.
Yeah.
Which is not our property anymore. So we gotta close that off and fix the main driveway in.
Yeah.
I would prefer to do that when we reach next year's road program instead of spending the money now, because I'm gonna put a curb down there and sidewalk,
Yeah.
so that'll improve all that.
Once people find the park, they love it.
Yeah.
They're just. I have had a couple of people call me and say, "Where's this park?" And I'm like,
Yeah, especially if you're.
How do you miss it?
Yeah, it's
So,
not hard.
And then of course, they always end up in the wrong place. So that's what we don't want. So, all right, that's good.
Anything else, Greg?
Nope, I'm done.
Any questions for Greg? Well, that was quick. You want to take a quick dinner break?
I'll be back. Yeah, I'm gonna go get lost for a while.
Actually, I do, I'm sorry,
Uh-oh.
Mayor. This one's easy. Any updates on the permits on 1515?
Permits on no,
DEP,
we're just waiting for the flood hazard area
DEP.
permit. That's the
Right.
last one we need. So when we get that, we'll be ready to go.
Okey-dokey. Thanks, Greg.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dave?
Yep, I got a few things, I'll run through them real quick. One, attended the Monmouth County Community Development Committee Annual Reorganization Meeting, which is basically where we organize for the CBG grant. You wanna hear this, Greg, or you? Yeah.
Sure.
So basically, our CDB application submission deadline is Friday, July 19th. And what were we applying for?
The first thing we're gonna apply for is bathrooms at Kepo.
That was Kelpo, I knew it was Kelpo.
But the only other thing that may put a twist in that depends on our meeting that we have with Wanamassa Point Road people.
Right.
Because the repaving of that road would also qualify, because it's dubbed the low-income area of Ocean
Yep.
Township. And I think we'd get a lot more money to help us pave that road than we would for the bathroom, so we'll have to talk about.
Which one?
Which
Is it
one?
possible to go for both, or you only can do one?
I think we can only go for one, but I'll double check.
Okay.
Because one is a
Alright, I got
road and one is an
everything.
improvement.
We have that meeting set up for, what was it, March 5th or something, or?
March, yes.
March
Yeah.
5th, okay. Yeah, so we'll go over that with Wanamassa Point Road residents on their road as to whether or not, just so you guys know, there's a meeting set up with them to decide whether or not they want to pay for cement or go for the blacktop. Either way, it's going to be a sizable amount of money in that road, but we'll go over the options with them.
And just so you know, we did receive a grant in the past for repaving that, but it was sent back because all the residents did not want us to do the asphalt.
Right.
Enough of them complained and we gave it back.
Right. Okay.
Get some cobblestone.
I got one more you might want to hear.
Okay.
I spoke to New Jersey DOT about our two favorite projects, Route 71 and South Lincoln Avenue, which is where we're going to be putting up that traffic light. The augmentation designer gave New Jersey the traffic signal plan early February for their review and comments. End of last week, they gave their comments back to the designer. Completion of the work order package from their designer is estimated to be August 2024. So it's moving, but slow. This is the really interesting news here. Now, Route 18, Deal Road and Cold Indian Springs Road, where we're doing the flasher. Remember the flasher
Mhm.
over there? Due to the geometry of the intersection, the proposed RRFB at this intersection will be replaced by a traffic signal.
That's
what he was just talking
Yeah, I
about.
was just talking about.
That's
So-
wow, we
so-
did get a message.
See?
Wow.
DOT has confirmed. The pedestrian counts and traffic counts were taken during off-peak hours when there were pedestrians present. Completing the work order will be done by end of September 2024. So
Wow.
I would think maybe by the end of the year, beginning of 2025, we might have a traffic signal over there. So,
Wow.
see.
Signal, not light, signal.
Yeah,
That's different.
but it's
Wow.
different than what we expected, though. But I think that's better than a flasher, in my,
Yeah.
Sure.
my
Yeah.
perspective.
Well, it puts it on a DOT with people crossing there, and it's much safer with a traffic signal than it is
Yeah, yeah.
a flashing yellow light.
Now you can go.
So, I want to add a little caveat to this.
Okay.
Now that you're bringing it up.
Mm-hmm.
So, this is all wonderful, but here's where it gets weird. Apparently, if you're, the religious cannot press the button on Saturday to cross the street. So now I don't know if they'll just have to cross during the normal
Well, that's-
flow.
But that's good to bring that up now, because maybe we can relay that to DOT and
Yeah.
have the signal.
Movement sensor or
Yeah,
something.
especially during
Yeah.
that time frame.
Yeah, so just
They
a,
might be able to program it or
just a
something.
little caveat there.
Okay,
Okay?
all right, fair enough.
A Sabbath signal.
Set the signal.
The other thing I just want to bring to council's attention, to make sure you all look at the strat plan. Let's get that back on our radar. We got everything, we forwarded everything out, so just make sure you look at it, because we have some decisions to make. There are 3 options for a mission statement, 2 options for the vision statement, and there's some also some notes there to take a look at. So hopefully by the next meeting, we can have a conversation about that and make some decisions, so we can get back to the strat planner consultant and kind of wrap this up. The other
What are
thing-
next steps with that after that, Dave?
Basically, just approving it.
Implement?
Yeah.
Okay.
Next thing is,
Wait, one more.
I'm coming back later, I'll see you a little bit.
Okay, great.
the next thing is the,
Wait, Ron.
Paul Elderson stopped by, and I spoke to him yesterday at the 175th event. I'm just gonna pass this out. They got a really nice, this is not the sign, but the sign will look like this. Basically, there's gonna be a placement for Potter's Grave sign on the walking path that surrounds the Human Services Building. So I'm just gonna pass this around for your visual. And
You're on a roll.
yeah, good stuff, right? I leave the bad for last. Update from Shade Tree Commission. I sent around an email that had some of their proposed changes for Chapter 15. Just let me remind council, there's 3 different ordinances that have to do with the shade tree. There's their organizing ordinance, which is in line with the state statute. Township Council has advised me that the changes that they're making in the one that I sent around may not be possible, because it's actually in the state law, and they have to stay that way. So council's still looking at that. And then, after speaking with the mayor, and I concur that we need to look at all of the ordinances in totality and get shade tree in line. And speaking with council, I think you're gonna have to keep the 2 ordinances at least, because you got one down in community development, you have the one that controls the residency, and then you have their 3rd one, which controls the actual shade tree commission and what they can do. So we need to take a look at everything, and if not the next meeting, I say maybe the following meeting, we have all 3 given out to the council, so that we can take a look at it and see what's going on, and then also meet with the shade tree as well. Well, I'll do that part.
So, Matt, does the town have to have a shade tree commission? Is it part of the charter, or is it part of?
No, it's not mandated. Many towns don't have a shade tree, some do.
Not to diminish anything that they do, but what is the benefit of a shade tree commission versus all the other layers that we have?
Well, right now, the shade tree is undertaking, they have a grant. So they're undertaking in the inventory right now. They also go out individually as commissioners. They go out and they take a look at the various trees to see if they're dead. They help out our paid part-time tree ordinance enforcement. So there is a benefit to them. But one of the things they're supposed to do too is also, which they're in the process of, is getting myself a plan of where to plant trees. And I think we're finally coming to a place where they're actually gonna get that. And then what I promised them was, you get me the report, and I can tell you, I can give you a budget for your trees, and after speaking with the CFO, and we can line the budget up, because I said, I can't give you a budget without you giving me your report on where you want trees. It goes hand in hand. So I think we're getting there with them on that, and I think they have some good people involved on the Shade Tree Commission, and with all the trees we have in town, I think it does serve the township well to have a Shade Tree Commission.
They're sitting on a fairly large chunk of change, aren't they, from?
No.
They're not?
No, it's not as large as the Affordable Housing Trust Fund.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they've got under $1 million, I believe, in there.
Mhm.
I want something 700-800 maybe, something like that.
That's a lot of trees.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, and they're supposed to come
Have
up
you
with a
bought
plan.
a tree lately?
And
You know how
That-
much?
Oh, you're talking to me. Oh, I thought you were talking to Jack.
and that money is replenished
It ain't cheap.
every time somebody says, "Hey, I want to take a tree out," and they don't want to put one in. They got to pay.
Right.
So that keeps that funding going.
If you were a betting man, when do you say, hello there, when do you say the replanting plan would be in place, given that we've asked for it for 6 years?
I can't help but laugh at that.
That's
I
a
would
little-
say
a little
I think 30, but I'll say 60 conservatively.
Okay.
Because he seemed, when I met with Norm the other day, who's the chair,
Yep.
he seemed very confident that the plan is coming.
Okay.
So,
Did he share any? I mean,
That's
I know
60
we've had a
months.
lot of challenge, first of all, the time, but I know we also had challenge where to put it.
yeah,
Right
and I
of
think-
ways.
And I think that's what
He's got it all worked.
they're
Good.
working all that out. I haven't seen anything yet.
Cool.
The other thing I wanted to discuss was that they're looking for who's going to be the council liaison for the Shade Tree Commission. So something.
You already picked
Motion.
Dave last time.
Who? Dave.
Pick
Yeah,
Dave.
when Dave wasn't here, we nominated him.
Dave has shade tree and environmental.
It was
Both.
It was unanimous, no?
Good
Both.
for you.
On both.
All right, so I'll tell them.
Is that negotiable?
I'll tell them.
No negotiation.
Can we do rock, paper, scissors, anything?
It's the deputy mayor's role.
That's
Yeah.
it.
We
Oh
should
my
write that
God.
into the ordinance.
Yes,
Okay.
we should. That's a good idea.
In the event I have a conflict, would you like to fill in at times?
Nope.
Yeah,
I
Rob,
love-
you actually want to miss a meeting?
Listen, I love volunteering. Those are not two of my higher interested organizations. No disrespect, Jack.
I understand.
You'll never be out of
That's
town.
my Shade Tree report for the evening, and then my final piece is that I'm looking to amend an ordinance. It has come to our attention recently after we
Oh,
got
I'm sorry.
numerous compliments of the flags down Deal Road
Can I have
that we may be in
For him?
violation of our own ordinance.
Oh, boy.
That's a flag ordinance?
There is a
Wow.
21-2027 flags and pennants. Any multiple use of string of flags or pennants for display or to attract attention shall not be permitted in any zone. So, if you see it reads further, temporary use is permitted, but that's only for grand openings, and it has to be approved by the construction official. But I think we add another sentence, and I'll have a counselor help me with this, but basically looking for like temporary use of string or flags or pennants for municipal use may be permitted for a period to be determined by the township manager or something along those
Sure.
lines.
Who called that out, if I may ask?
We actually, we were Oprah.
Got Oprah for it.
Yeah.
Really?
This isn't.
I didn't
Oh.
say.
You always said, you sign
That
it.
was
But-
a good deed.
This is not our flag policy.
No.
No.
No. This is, we put up decorative commemorative flags down Deal Road, and supposedly somebody brought to our attention that we're violation of our own ordinance. I looked into it. So now I'm requesting the council to make an amendment to this ordinance so that what we're doing, and it seems by high demand, people like it, let's keep it there and let's make this change at the next meeting, introduced if I so may request.
So moved.
Mr. Counselor, if you can help me write that up.
Yes.
So, a question for you. If you're looking maybe to do something on a little more of on a permanent side of things, like kind of like what Monmouth University has when you kind of go down Cedar there, they're not flags so much, but sort of those square type of things.
And I talked to Mike about that today, because the flags If you've noticed,
Yeah.
they started up higher.
Yeah, they're
got
lower.
lowered.
Kept a couple
Yeah,
catch up
If
the
there's no
pole.
wind, you can't see them.
Yeah, I was-
So the boardwalk where you and I were talking today, the boardwalk has them in Long Branch where it's the two poles. And you
Yeah.
this way you can see it on both sides.
Yeah.
And they're reusable, like West Long Branch has on Locust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They look great.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, I just think it's a little more of a permanent thing.
So somebody brought that to my attention. I don't know if it was you, Councilman, but so we're looking into that.
Yeah, 'cause that
I'll
would
just
be
leave
good.
it- I'll just leave it there for now until we get further information.
Are they on, they're on a telephone pole, are they?
Yes.
Yeah.
I assume we got permission from JCP, huh?
Yep.
Okay. Just checking.
Okay.
That would be the minor problem.
Just a little bit.
So yeah, that's it. In regard to my report.
All right, thank you. Matt, anything?
Nope.
Okay. Let's go over to our public.
I appreciate being here. I missed the two other people not being here, but that's okay. But I wrote, just jotted down something for myself to say to this team when they give it a chance, which is you, what you're giving me, John. I really appreciate what the council is doing with respect to changes. Things change all the time. Every day things are different. Not everything, not big things, but little things. And you seem to pay attention to that. This flags thing is one of them that you pay attention to. And you're listening to what the people in town are saying as well as what's legally otherwise. So I would thank you all for doing what I consider a good job.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Jack.
We don't get too
Appreciate
many of those. Thank you.
We'll
Alex.
take it.
She was gonna say the same thing.
Yeah, yeah. All right, let's
You
go. You
stole
wanna
your thunder.
go?
You stole your thunder, Alex.
You do such wonderful things. However, let me just have three
However.
questions if you don't mind. I ran out of the house, so I might not have been totally unprepared. Alex Hayes from Dale Avenue. So I don't see any minutes from the meetings from 2024. They haven't been posted No, yet. I know. So, but why does it take so long for minutes to be posted?
I've been by myself and haven't had a chance to catch up with the minutes. And I come in on weekends and up to July of 2023. I didn't have a deputy for most of last year and I'm still struggling. So as soon as I get them up, they run.
I'm with you, but it sounds like
It does sound like a-
you need some help, so.
Yes, I have
don't
it
even
now.
know, I don't know if perhaps the attorneys can weigh in on this, but I'm not just, is that in violation of the open, or the sunshine laws not to have the minutes in a timely manner?
Timely is not specifically defined. So
Okay.
it's going to be, if it waits 2 years, then then yes. If it's, months, probably not. It's more of a, not defined. Let's put it that way.
And this is no slam on Miss Jessie, but, you're approving ones tonight, I think, for June of last year?
Yep, and July,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's, as a resident, that's crazy to me. Being on the school board, we would have them 2 weeks later. It's not her fault, I think, in this fine building, I'm sure there could be somebody
Looking at
else
you.
that could type them up.
It's your fault.
It's my fault. Okay. It's lonely.
Okay, so that's one thing. And I believe Mr. Brown mentioned at the last meeting, there was a February deadline for the cannabis
Yes.
applications. Is that tomorrow? And can you tell us how many people have applied and for which of the 5 different businesses?
It was yesterday.
Okay.
We got,
Seven.
7 total.
I didn't bring the list with me.
There were a couple for,
There were two
two for,
two
3
retail of 2 retail.
2?
2 retail, 3 manufacturer, 3 grow.
That's it.
2 grow. 2, 2, 3.
2, 2, 3. Yeah.
2 retail, 3 manufacturer,
And
and
2
2
grow.
grow. Were any of them? the
Class
same?
1, Class 2, Class 5 is
Mhm.
retail.
Yeah.
And you can only have 1 per 5 of the 5 categories, correct?
No, we
No.
have 2 for the grow, 2 for the manufacturer, 1 for the retail.
So 1 of the retails and 1 of the manufacturers will have to be knocked out, correct?
Correct.
And what is the
Well,
category for that?
at most. That
Yeah.
doesn't, we don't, there are available 2, but that doesn't mean there's
You
no
automatically
mandate that we
get it. Okay.
hand them out.
So
It
what
could
are,
be 0.
It could be 0.
Okay,
Based on
qualifications.
what, yeah, what, they have to meet? If
There-
everybody was completely meets all the qualification, then what does it come down to?
I mean, there are other factors, I think, offhand, I can't remember exactly
in
the
the
RFP.
It's in the RFP.
But
Their
Is that
committee
posted
had,
online?
Yeah.
Yeah.
their committee
That's
hasn't
been there.
met yet.
That's what they had to, respond to.
Okay.
Dave will be creating the committee, which is gonna comprise of, people with inside the organization in the municipality. And he will pick who's on that committee, and that's how they'll, deliver it to the council for our approval.
Okay, do they have to have a site location yet? Is that part of it? Okay.
Yeah.
yes,
One other quick question, can you be a combined retailer and manufacturer, or, any combination of the 5?
the answer, you can't be a retailer and any of the other ones. I think
You can do the
You
manufacturing.
you can do a
and the grow
manufacturing and a cultivation. It's a state. Those are the state rules, so it's not even us. But that's all.
can't
Don't they have
So-
to have separate applications though for each?
You mean
That's how the-
submissions or?
Yeah, because the last one that came in, they had a separate application and LLC for the cultivation and separate application for manufacturing.
For the RFP, they had to submit an individual, whether or not the 2 different companies.
That's their choice.
That's their choice, and whether or not the state is going to grant it. So I don't think at this time the state allows retail and something else to be under the same umbrella. But I do believe, I want to say cultivation and manufacturing, but offhand I don't know.
Okay. Couple other questions. Two other questions, I think, on the marijuana. Can you ballpark when you think the first opening of any of those 5 will be? And then when do we have an estimation on when you'll start collecting the first taxes on that?
I think it's probably
can't-
impossible to
Yeah.
guess exactly, because
Look at the first scenario. We,
2 years.
yeah, we're still waiting. So, and it's not only on the entities, it's on the state too. So there's too many
Very slow process.
players involved. To,
Very slow process.
yeah.
Okay.
If we were in full control of it, I'd gladly give you a time frame.
Okay. And then I think my last question is 2 meetings ago, I think, you were talking about the 10th hole. Did I miss that in the 15 minutes I was late? Has there been a decision? I think the Vice Mayor was heading up some committee on what to rename the 10th
I think
hole.
it's on
the
the
Vice
agenda
Mayor now?
tonight, isn't it?
So,
A new title.
The
Vice Premier.
deputy mayor, for the
Deputy.
record, and we met, and it was decided, and it's on the agenda for tonight.
I thought those.
I didn't see that on the agenda. When was?
It is on the agenda.
It's up.
It's on the agenda.
Which goes out when?
It's
48 hours before the meeting.
It's resolution 24-054.
It was out Tuesday at 5 o'clock.
That may not have been on, but.
It wasn't. Oh, no, it wasn't until yesterday.
Yeah, that one's.
In fairness.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
25054, and that, what, renames it or
Yeah,
something?
it names it.
24-054.
I mean, do you have copies of these for the public, or
Should be
can anyone
downstairs.
just tell me real quick?
Downstairs.
Christopher
Downstairs.
Siciliano.
Online.
Wow, okay. That's amazing.
Just one more thing.
Alex, wait, hold on a second.
Sorry, Jack.
Alex, anything else?
Go ahead. Are you
She's
finished?
on the roll, leave her alone, Jack, come on.
I thought she was first.
I just find that an interesting selection.
Listen,
Well,
I'm not here to,
can I just jump in?
I was gonna do the same thing.
It was a unanimous decision by the naming committee, and, we have criteria. You may not agree with it, but, we're looking at, service to the township, longevity, happens to be an avid golfer, and I think it's a nice honor for somebody who's given a lot of time and energy to the township. I mean, that's why we have a naming committee, so that we can create a pool of people who are worthy of things named in the township. There will be plenty of other things to name. This just happens to be one thing that came across our desk. Don't worry, there's tons. And I suggest if you have great suggestions, give us to us.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of unsung heroes in this township that could deserve a little recognition.
What's the next naming opportunity?
I don't
since
know,
there's so many
we're
coming up?
creating.
The band shell, it'll be discussed tonight in closed session.
There you go.
You mean to name somebody, or let's open the pool up to name, you mean?
to open the pool up for other things, but the band shell specifically, there was a recommendation made.
So that one won't count for other public input. And it's already been.
No?
No. Say that again?
The deputy mayor said there will be plenty other chances to name things in town.
No, that's just-
When's the next
Councilman,
one?
I don't know that that's a closed session.
So it won't be discussed tonight in closed session, but there was a name that was tossed around by the naming committee today, and it will be discussed
Amongst the
and
naming committee.
socialized, yes. But the input to the deputy mayor's point, I would encourage anybody who has, and there were names that came up today in addition to this person's for other things that we think could be named. And to the deputy mayor's point, we set up some, I don't want to say arbitrary criteria, didn't write it all down, but I think we understand how this should be done.
I mean, I understand nothing's been formalized until this moment. So, you know, it's like, well, who did great things? I don't know, you'll name a street after him. So at least now we have some, you know, formalization to do this. So I think there's a lot of opportunity. And we're only dealing with this piece of time, you know, 175-year history of this township. There's probably a whole lot of people that may or may not deserve something in this township. So
I agree.
it'd be nice to revisit with the, you know, the input from the Historic Society, with the input from all of the different organizations.
I'll give you an example, and it came up today, but we didn't have feedback that we asked for. We want to name the Oakhurst Meeting Room after somebody from Oakhurst Fire Department. So we're waiting for some feedback from the commissioners there. We think that's, one, it's a building that Rich Long has wanted named for 9 years, and the person we think is well-deserving, but we're waiting for some feedback from the fire department.
How many names came under discussion for the 10th hole?
For the what?
For the 10th hole?
One?
Just one.
One?
Alrighty.
But feel free to give us some suggestions.
Next time I hear of an opportunity, I'll be happy to do that.
No, actually do it, seriously, do it in advance. If you have,
You got an opportunity right now, he's gonna be talking about the band shell.
No, I need to think about it.
well, that's my
I need
point,
to
and
fight
do
the
it
public.
this way.
People have lived in this town longer than I have, and I have 10 more names than Mr. Siciliano.
Well, you know, the
Well,
other thing too
but-
is some of it's player to be created, you know, later. So, you know, who knows? Maybe there'll be a street that becomes something that's. So it's almost like creating a bullpen of names. You know, it's not just.
Like a repository or something.
Well, absolutely. It's like a talent bank. You know, who. You know, just because you got nominated for the Hall of Fame doesn't mean you get into the Hall of Fame. You know,
Okay.
so.
Here's what, to his point, we're putting two lists together. The names of people that are deserving and the things that can be named. And we'll try to match them up. So for example, the Oakhurst Meeting Room, it makes sense to name it after fire. Oh, the other thing we discussed, the Wanamassa Fields, the Wanamassa Pavilion, Fireman's Field over there, and the building over there. We'd like to name that after a Wanamassa firefighter. So we're trying to tie them together. So if you, to our point, if you got names, bring the names up. If you got suggestions of things to name, we probably know those already, but throw those out too.
May I just have a suggestion? The school district opened it up to the Hall of Fame and, you know, publicized it pretty greatly and throughout the e-blasts several times to the 3,200 students' families in the district. So maybe next time you're gonna name something, you can
Put something on the. Did we?
Publicize
We
it.
did, we did publicize it.
Yeah.
I mean, we mentioned it here, it was on you got stuff, you got faces like my wife.
Yeah.
You're not on camera, that's not good. And now I lost my train of thought. We did advertise it somewhere, but
Yeah.
you brought it up at the meeting,
Sure.
the last meeting.
I believe we were
And-
supposed to
and
put it
It's
on the
been
website.
discussed multiple times. I mean,
Yeah.
it goes
And
back
we've been
to.
I've
doing
heard
this-
it in here, I haven't seen
We've
it.
It
been
goes
doing
back
this-
when Rich Long was on it.
I
I
haven't
mean,
read
when
it
I was on
anywhere.
with him.
But I don't disagree
Nowhere
with
in
her.
public,
If
I
we
think.
are, if they watch the meetings, if they see my posts on Facebook,
Mhm.
if they go on our website, if they go to YouTube, all of those people would have seen it. Having said that, I don't disagree that we could do a little publicity, just asking people for suggestions.
Part of the committee.
Fair enough. Duly noted. Jack up.
Go ahead, Jack.
That's all I have.
Go ahead, Jack.
Jack from Big Rock Place again. I just wanted to say that I'm a member of the Shade Tree Commission, and I would just wanted to say that the council representative on that committee, whether it's you or if you're not able to make it one night, the council, I think the council presence there is important to things moving ahead on that committee. That's just my own observation, but I think it's true. If there's a council person there, it makes a difference, I think, to what happens
On the shade tree.
on the Shade Tree.
That's why we got
Just attending
Dave.
the meeting.
Dave's the most
That's
effective.
it.
Dave is
Good.
the most
He's very effective.
person.
I would agree
He's
with you.
effective, all right.
It's a good transition too, because it went from Margie deputy mayor to Dave deputy mayor, so I think it's.
Skip Jill.
Huh?
Skip Jill.
It did for some
Skip the
reason. I don't know
generation.
how. I don't have a clue how that happened.
Not to be negative, but before the recent ones, and like the ones that you just named, there was a person there who was on the paper, but never at the meetings.
Right. I was remiss though, I should have gone around the horn first to the council. Do you, Rob, anything before
No,
we
I-
go back to Alex?
I'm good.
You're good? Dave, anything else?
I'm good, I'm good.
Okay.
Oh, that was
Alex,
just for him. Oh, I'm sorry.
you had something else?
Yeah, the planning board, zoning board, and all the other boards, who is supposed to do those minutes too?
Not me.
Okay.
The administrator, the planning board secretary.
I believe
not current.
Claire Villanova is in charge of that.
So, how soon are those supposed to be up? Because those aren't up for the entire
That would
year.
be a planning board and zoning
I
board.
guess you'll have to ask her, I don't know.
Separate entity.
Same,
But same philosophy.
same,
Right.
yeah, same open
But is it
public.
a township employee?
Yes.
It's the planning
I'm cool,
board
Jack.
secretary, it's the planning board secretary
It happens to be
and
a
the
township
zoning board.
employee.
So I would have to go to one of those board meetings, or could I just tell the town manager right now that there aren't certain minutes that are posted and they should be, right? So is that anything that you could?
It'd be more appropriate if you directly contact Claire as the secretary of the board. And
Okay.
then,
Of whichever respective board?
yeah,
She's got them both.
Okay,
yeah, she's got them both.
okay, thank you.
Okay. Anything else?
That's it.
All right, thank you.
If you wanna copy me, by all means.
Did you guys want to go over the band show now that we're here? You want to wait for the ladies to be back next month?
Let's wait for the ladies to be back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whose names are you kicking around for that?
Let's wait for the ladies to get back.
What's it, a secret?
Well, it's on tape.
It's gonna be the tape anyway.
Let's hold off for a second.
I gotta tell you something, Rob. You got a good double standard, my friend.
Well, that's not a double-
Motion to go in a closed
You don't want the
session.
person to know in advance.
Motion to go in a closed, well, they're gonna know anyway.
When we talk.
Motion to go in a closed session?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Just want to remind everybody that all Township Council meetings will be audio and video taped. They'll be shown on Township of Ocean's Community Cable Channel, Channel 22, on Verizon Fios, and Channel 77 on Cablevision. Can I have a roll call, please?
Mayor Napolitani?
Here.
Deputy Mayor Fisher?
Here.
Councilmember Achara?
Here. Please stand for a pledge of allegiance and remain standing as we say a silent prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing. You may be seated. The notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act for this meeting have been satisfied, and a copy of the annual notice was sent to the Asbury Park Press and the Coaster, posted in Town Hall and filed in the office of the municipal clerk on December 14th, 2023. There are fire exits to my right that'll take you to the front of the building, and one to my left that'll take you to the rear of the building. Please make sure that all your cell phones are turned off, and if you need to make a call, kindly step outside. I'm going to start with council comments. We're going to start with Deputy Mayor Fisher.
All right. Well, I want to congratulate everybody last night on an amazing 175th anniversary kickoff. That couldn't have been a better event, and to all those who were involved, and the list is long, you guys did a phenomenal job, and I look forward to this whole year of celebrating. So hold on, folks. It's going to be a fun year.
Thank you.
One thing I did want to mention, there was we've been going back and forth about these e-bikes, and unfortunately there is a huge safety issue with these things. They go too fast, the drivers don't see them, and unfortunately this week we had an accident. I implore the people who are listening, I implore the parents, you've got to wear helmets, you've got to be responsible when you're riding these things. You need to be looking around. You're coming up way too quickly. There is there's some legislation pending, but it has not been approved at this point. But I'm just telling, as a parent, if your kid's riding one of these things, you really need to think twice about safety. And that's my message tonight.
Thank you.
Again, I'll echo Deputy Mayor's comments about last night. Fantastic reception, and to his point, stay tuned for future events. Other than that, I'm good for tonight.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Mayor.
Dave?
Thank you, Mayor. No report this evening.
Thank you, sir. Matt?
Oh, no report, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Just to echo the sentiments of the gentleman to my left, absolutely outstanding event last night, how well it was thrown together, and I'm truly amazed at how our staff pulled together. Not only did they work during the day to get things going, but the staff were out there at night. The directors were out there. Other staff members came out. There were staff helping. We had staff members singing. I just can't say enough about how we come together as a town and do the right thing for the community. And I just can't thank everybody enough. Dave, with your leadership right now, we're really on a great path, and we look forward to a phenomenal 2024 as we move forward with our 175th. Okay, so all matters listed on the consent agenda are considered routine by the Township Council and will be enacted by one motion in the form listed below. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired on any item, that item will be considered separately. The purpose of the public portion is to solely ask questions to understand resolutions that appear on the agenda and is not an occasion for a public hearing on an ordinance. All questions not related to an item on the agenda should be asked during the public portions at the conclusion of the meeting. So do I have any questions in regard to the resolutions on the agenda? Seeing here none, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Achara?
Yes, except I apologize. I did not read 24056. I'm going to abstain.
Sure. Fisher?
Yes.
Naplatani?
Yes. Individual action vouchers in the amount of $1,381,887.40. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Achara?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Naplatani?
Yes. Vouchers pass. Ordinances up for adoption. We have Ordinance 2454, which is an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 21 of the Comprehensive Land Development Ordinance of the Township of Ocean, subsection 21-30.32, cottage food operators - home bakers, subsection 21-22 through 21-32A, impervious surface. Can I have someone please open public discussion on Ordinance 2454?
I'll make a motion to open public discussion on ordinance 2454.
Second.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Sorry. Achara?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Naplatani?
Yes. Anyone wishing to be heard on Ordinance 2454, stand up to the microphone, state your name and address. Seeing here none, do I have a motion to close public portion on Ordinance 2454?
I'll make a motion to close public comment on ordinance 2454.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Achara?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Naplatani?
Yes. Action on Ordinance 2454.
I move to approve ordinance 2454 and publish according to law.
Second.
A second.
Roll call.
Achara?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Naplatani?
Yes. Ordinance 2454 is adopted. Ordinance 2455, which is an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 21 of the Comprehensive Land Development Ordinance, subsection 21-9.g, certified list of property owners, subsection 21-17, establishment of zones, subsection 21-18, zoning map, subsection 21-39.4, cannabis business zones, deleted in its entirety, subsection 21-39A, cannabis business overlay zone. Can I have someone open public discussion on ordinance 2455?
I'll make a motion to open public discussion on ordinance 2455.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Achara?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Naplatani?
Yes. Anyone wishing to be heard on ordinance 2455, step up to the microphone, state your name and address. Seeing here none, do I have a motion to close public comment on ordinance 2455?
I make a motion to close public comment on ordinance 2455.
Second,
Second.
roll call.
Achara?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Naplatani?
Yes. Action on ordinance 2455.
Move to approve ordinance 2455 and publish according to law.
Second,
I'll second.
roll call.
Achara?
No.
Fisher?
Yes.
Naplatani?
Yes. Ordinance 2455 is adopted. Ordinances up for introduction. We have ordinance 2456, which is amending Chapter 2 of the revised general ordinances of the Township of Ocean, 1965, entitled Administration. Can I have someone introduce ordinance 2456?
Make a motion to introduce ordinance 2456.
Second,
Second.
roll call.
Achara?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Naplatani?
Yes. That will have its public hearing on the 14th of March. Okay, that ordinance is now introduced. We will open it up for public comment on anything germane to the Township of Ocean. Like to say anything about the town? If you're here, any questions, comments, concerns, please step up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. Seeing here none, do I have a
Hold on.
No, I just,
Can you step up to the microphone?
Sure.
Thank you, sir.
You came all the way here.
Yeah,
yeah,
you could be heard.
Is it
That's
still?
Vermont, God, I don't even know my address. 123 Woolley.
How you doing, Chet?
I'm doing okay.
All right.
I just wanted to check in on the land use ordinance that you were.
That we just
moving
adopted?
forward. Just adopted.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow, it's 5 minutes late.
Yeah.
When does it, you just adopted it, when does it?
We were
actually-
5 minutes fast. How's that sound?
When does it take effect? I mean,
No,
It's
20,
20
published
days.
20 days.
20 days. Okay. I got a lot of nervous clients, I gotta move fast. Okay. So, as it relates to applications going to the town,
19 days.
how will that, do they have to be approved or just filed?
We're going to defer to.
Yeah, they just have to be filed. It would be under the time of application. So as long as you get them in before it's published and officially adopted, then you would have the time of application in for you for on your side. But if you come in after that, then this new rule will be in place.
Sounds fair.
And Chet, also, your ones that are in the hopper are fine too, right? The ones that are already there, so you're fine on those. It's just anybody new coming in after this is done being
No, I
published.
dragged my feet on a couple, and I didn't know the ordinance.
You better get to work there, Chet. You better get out of here. I would.
What, 19 days?
There you go.
All right, Chet, thank you.
Business or calendar days?
Anyone else wishing to be heard?
Oh, I have one other comment.
Yes, sir.
I've been diddling around here for like 35, 40 years, and I've been waiting for you guys to kind of bring the lot coverage numbers into some kind of reasonableness. But there are certain other elements of the land use ordinance that I find a little bit prickly, and I didn't know if the day ever came that you were gonna kind of revisit things, maybe make things a little, you know,
We
smoother.
discussed, our manager brought it up before, that we had discussed looking at probably all of the ordinances within the municipality to see what needs to be updated.
Okay, because just my experience over time, there's certain ordinances that are there that require me sometimes to compromise my design just to comply with an ordinance that if I didn't have to comply with it, I could probably do something a little bit better.
Right.
But I don't want to tell my clients I got to go to the zoning board to try to achieve something better than I can present in a
Right.
conforming manner. So, and there are probably a half a dozen such kind of difficult ordinances there.
Right.
If the day ever came, I'd be willing to share my thoughts with you.
All right.
All right?
Thanks, Chet.
You bet.
Appreciate it. Anyone else wishing to be heard?
Illegal, I could murder somebody, that would probably make people
Dennis Howlett, 1638 Holbrook Street.
Hey, Dennis, how you doing?
I've been worse, thank you. I mentioned to a couple of people I met in the parking lot when I showed up late for a meeting that the information about recycling in the town has been updated on the website, and whoever did that did a really good job. because there's a lot more information about what can be recycled and what can't, and I think it's a lot clearer than it ever was before. I know I wasn't recycling a whole bunch of things that apparently, according to the little label on the bottom, all the way from 1 to 7 or so, or 1 to 9, is recycled. So my recycling bin is filling up quicker, and I'm sure you're happy about that. And actually, I'm serious, it's a good thing that who did that. The second thing also has to do with recycling, and that's the program about recycling the plastic sheets.
For those new buckets.
Yeah, new buckets. I'm curious, I happened to talk to the gentleman that was collecting them last month, and he told me that 900 people in town signed up for that, which absolutely shocks me, because I see maybe 3 or 4 when I go out on the last day of the month and, take out the same path.
Well, 900 would be about 10% of the town. I mean, it's, I don't know where they would even be. I mean,
More people than vote.
yeah.
Sorry.
I was laughing. You said it's more people than actually vote. We've.
Whoa! Oh, hold on. Wow, where did that come from?
Dennis, thank you for that comment. Appreciate that.
Holy cow.
But it's been pushed, and people. We've actually, I think, one month they had a problem picking them up. They weren't there that particular day, but
Well, the reason I'm saying it surprises me that there's 900, because I see so few buckets out there.
Yep.
I'm curious, how many people have actually picked up buckets?
Yeah, Mayor, I don't have that number on me, but if you call Department of Public Works tomorrow morning, they can give you the exact number of how many that's out, and I don't think it's nowhere near 900, to be honest with you.
Surprised.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised that it's nowhere near 900.
Yeah.
And the gentleman I talked to said it is topped out at 1,200. They can only support doing 1,200.
That's about right? That's
I thought it was 1,000.
Yeah,
There was a limit.
Yeah, there is a limit. They think you're about in the ballpark for the limit.
Well, I was going to ask, how's it going? Because I think it's a great program to have.
It's going well. In all honesty, there was with the hauler, we had a couple of hiccups on pickups, but hopefully that's corrected at this time.
Okay, cool. Third and last, I'm a big-time user of the parks in town, particularly Palea Park. And over the years, I've seen motorbikes and some motorized vehicles and things in there, not very often, and never the same person twice. I talked to a couple of people, I said, they're just not really allowed in here, and I never saw them again. That brings up the question, there's a new trend, what's the deal on electric bikes?
Council Deputy Mayor Fisher just brought this up today. I would assume that's under the same guys in there. They shouldn't be in there as well.
I would think so. I mean, I would hope so. Because just the other day I was in there and there were a whole lot of little kids on electric bikes. And it sounds petty, but those things could really go fast.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen them on the paths now too, adults or young adults on them. And I walk the paths and those things, if you get hit by something going 20, 25 miles an hour, it'll get you completely.
Yeah. Agreed.
It's funny you mentioned that. We just talked about that literally 5 minutes ago.
So what are you suggesting, speed bumps?
That's a bad word.
That's why I said it.
Don't cut up the trees that fall across the paths.
I did just whisper to say we should put signs, and then the manager whispered back that we may need an ordinance, so we'll discuss it amongst the council and come up with something. But you're right, to the deputy mayor's point, it's been a concern.
So Dennis, the big issue here is conceptually they're just a bicycle that has an active assist, but they've turned into more of a motorized vehicle. So now the state is wrestling with this problem as to licensing, insuring, possibly mandatory helmets. So we're kind of in a bit of a gray zone right now, but the answer is something needs to give because they're dangerous.
They are.
And I agree with you.
Yeah, but the helmets, I mean, there are rules about that. So
But they're more dangerous than any bicycle out there. And unfortunately, people are getting hurt, and something's going to happen sooner than later.
Okay.
So we're on it.
Okay.
Thanks, Dennis.
Thank you, Dennis. Anyone else wishing to be heard?
Coming to thank us. Be nice.
Yeah, how you doing? You know it's me. But yes, I'm back here again. I was back in, thinking about in November,
Yeah.
Yep.
October. and the issue hasn't been resolved. I called Nick up. I said I want to sit down and have a meeting with him. He never got back to me. I sent him emails.
Who is this?
Nick,
Who?
give his name and address. Your office.
Nick?
Yes.
From code enforcement?
Inspectors.
Code
Oh, code inspector,
Oh,
okay.
Nick, okay. I'm
Okay.
familiar with Nick, yep.
And I called them to get this.
Still about the heat?
Still about the heat.
It's still not on?
It's on, but it only gets up to a certain temperature. It goes
Right.
up to 52, and then it stops.
Okay.
Um,
Nick hasn't called you back?
Okay, let me back up a second. Nick has come through a couple of times. Nick has got on James, who was the head inspector, James. He spoke to James. James came to the apartment. Sean was at work that day. I was there, but he was on the phone with him talking to him. James said all of this stuff would be addressed, meaning the rodents running through the walls, and the rodents running in the ceilings, and the rodents trying to dig a hole in the top of the kitchen and at the top of the stairwell when you're at the apartment. I don't know what these rodents are, but they're running around all day, all night. Nick has talked to James about it. They said they would come through and fix it. They said that they would come and fix the water coming through the sliding door. They have not fixed that. Everything that they were supposed to fix, they said they were going to do along with the heat. They did do something.
That was after you paid all that stuff up at that time?
yes.
They did do something with the heat. Then the heat got to 52. Then the heat got to 58. And we've taken pictures and we've sent them to Nick Toon showing them the thermostat reading 58. When James came in, he took them, it was him in the super. And they took this machine or with this little thing in their hand, a gadget, and
Yeah, you
put it
took-
in the inside wall.
Right.
They're like, okay, this is reading this. And I said, that's the inside wall. You got electrical things running. You got all kinds of wires running through that wall. So the wall is heating up. But if you put it on a outside wall or the other wall to the kitchen, all the walls are cold. So whatever needs to be done has not been taken care of. And we are so frustrated. And we have withheld our rent again.
But what, I don't understand what they're putting, what are they putting on the wall?
That is a sensor thing or something that reads the temperature.
Probably a temperature. It's like a temperature gauge.
Why would you do it on the wall though? Why don't they, I mean, you got the
Because
temperature on,
because we don't have a thermometer, thermostat in the house.
A thermostat
Okay.
that's
So-
supposed to tell us.
really?
So they
them.
use from them.
Dave,
so,
is
so
there-
basically they,
Wait a minute, aren't they supposed to have,
Everything they name is supposed to be done.
they control the heat.
They
We
could
don't
have
have
central
control
control.
over
you,
our heat.
central controls?
Central controlled heat, yeah.
Oh, okay. So the property management controls it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not updated. So, this is ridiculous. So we're before you again. So what, this is now, 4 months, going on 5 months?
Dave, what can we do on this one?
We
Man, I'm
have a
quite.
court date.
I know,
I
I
just
can
keep
tell you're
saying-
dumbfounded on this one.
Yeah, I could keep sending code, but really we need to go to court against this property
Yeah.
No,
manager.
we are going to go.
Okay.
Again for the
Okay.
second time.
We are.
For the second time. Oh
Yeah,
god.
we-
But, hey, are there fines we can levy against them for,
I believe we're doing everything we can.
Yeah,
but
I
I'll
think
follow up with code enforcement.
I mean,
tomorrow.
this is ridiculous.
No, I agree. Totally agree.
And the last time we talked to Nick, which was right after Christmas,
And then we called him again
and we told him we want to meet
about
with
2
him.
weeks. 2 weeks ago we called
Yes,
him.
we did. We
Did
told
he
him we
come
wanted to
out?
meet with him. He
He said-
emailed us back and asked why. And we told him we want to discuss this whole issue. This is ridiculous. And it's not, we're not trying to act ignorant or talk out of character. I mean, and it's not just us, but nobody else was saying anything because
I don't think anybody ever said that, because every time you've called, you've been
Yeah.
very, very calm,
Yeah.
which
This
is
the problem.
Yeah, very
way,
professional.
way better than a lot of people.
Excuse me, this is the problem, not to cut you off.
Yeah.
They do the contract with the tenants. The tenants sign these contracts. They don't do what they're supposed to do. But when the tenants leave out, you're still obligated to sign that contract for however many months you got left on that lease, that contract. So you sign this lease, this contract, which is a contract, you gotta sign it. People move out, but you still gotta pay. If you don't pay what you said you're gonna pay, even though you don't live there anymore, then they turn you over to collections. So it's a mess. It's a lose-lose situation for tenants. And it's not right.
Basically, it's like you go buy a car, go get a loan on a car, and you forge on that loan. You still have to, when you go purchase another car, you still got to pay for the next car that you just turned in, that they took from you. That's how they run their contract.
That's how they run their whole business of doing those apartments. And a lot of people are very frustrated, but it's like, okay, you gotta put so much money up, then you gotta find another place to live, so you gotta pay this money for rent, and you're paying somewhere else. So that's how you're getting a homeless problem. And everybody does not make money like you think they do. Some people are really just trying to make it. And this game that these landlords are playing is wrong. We have sent emails to Governor Murphy about this, not going over your head and all that, but no disrespect.
No big deal. Hey, look, if you can get an answer, go for it.
Right?
You gotta do what you gotta do.
No problem here at all.
Yeah, we are really frustrated, and it's not just us, but we're the ones who are speaking out. So they consider my husband being a troublemaker because he's speaking up, but he's like, I work too hard not to be able to come home and sit down and enjoy my apartment that I'm paying almost $1,500 to $2,000 a month for. Not to mention
it's like being in jail. You confined in one area because that's where your space heater is.
the bedroom.
It's in the bedroom.
And we sent pictures of that to Nick too. You know, we stay in the, because the bedroom is
Dave, we can have Ken get on
Yep.
Nick for that and get over there tomorrow.
in the morning.
Yeah, thank you. I know. Dave will be right on it in the
You
morning.
still have my number, right, in the
Yeah.
email?
Yes.
Yeah, please. Don't wait 3-4
Nick was in
months.
charge, so we was trying to go through Nick,
Yeah.
but it's not going nowhere. So we
they're listening to Nick, but they're not
listen
listening
to
to
Nick.
Nick.
Exactly.
They keep telling
Because
Nick they're
they-
gonna do.
because they
Maybe
tell-
Ken needs to go over there.
What they tell them it's already done. It's been
Yes.
50
He
weeks, and they never come
Dave
back.
will send the big dog over there.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the thing about it is, this game that they're playing is wrong. It's just wrong on every level, and it's like you think people are really, and people aren't stupid. They just go, you know, I don't want to fight. We're fighters. I'm sorry, Richardson's are fighters. No, it's in our blood.
Good.
So, no, not to get, and we're not trying to go up you guys' head and say you guys aren't doing your job. You know, the mayor's not doing your job, whatever. We're not trying to do that at all. That's not.
Thank you for
But
coming.
This has to be. This
gotta
has
be
to be.
addressed.
But please, like Dave said, don't let it go this long. You have his number. You can call town hall.
Well, we have been calling.
No.
No,
I mean, if
call
you're
Dave.
not getting the answer,
Yeah.
you call him.
Okay,
He's
all right.
the top dog here.
Okay, all right.
But he's going to go to the who's in charge of Nick and hopefully get him to go out there. If they're not listening to Nick,
Well, James is the head person, and there was another time when Nick had to call James up because he said, stop sending supervisors over there to deal with them. Go
property.
over
They're
there
talking
yourself.
property.
And another
Okay.
reason is when they send their helpers or what they got
The maintenance
on the premises, the maintenance crew, they don't speak English.
They sure don't.
So when you trying to talk to them, they like, what? We don't speak English. So how are we supposed to interpret to them if we don't speak Spanish?
Thank you. And I'm like, okay. And then they said the last time when James came, he said, and I quote, well, we just fired someone in the office because they're not relaying these messages. I said, that's not our problem.
Yeah.
What does us calling you got to do with your staff? And the super that came there that day, he was very nasty to me, and he was the one who was with James when James came. And he wasn't saying anything. He wasn't talking no crap at that time, but he was talking to me like, we're doing the best we can. We're doing what we can. Okay, well, you need to stop calling the mayor's office, and you need to stop calling inspectors to come over here. All you got to do is call us. And then they'll come. This is what they do. They'll come in the daytime when he's at work, when we're not there. They'll come to the back door. They leave the
I noticed saying that they
yeah.
I was like, but it's a 24-hour window. You're supposed to be ruled by that you're supposed to go by.
Yeah.
They don't do that.
No. And
They
then if
come.
you call after 6, nobody answers the phone. Nobody comes. It's a mess.
But they say they got a 24-hour line, which they don't.
Yes.
Wow.
This is a mess.
And it, just for the clarification, it's Continental?
This is
Twin
Twinbrook.
Twinbrook. Okay, thank you.
This is a hot
it's one over by the old Red Lobster.
Yep.
Aldrin Road over there.
And then when you refer to James, he's part of the property management team?
James is the head.
Head,
of
okay.
maintenance. He's the head.
And he's not doing anything.
Nope.
Because I guess their workers going back and telling him that they completed the job, lying to him, so he doesn't know anything. He's just going by what the workers say. And the same thing with Nick.
But a heat thing should be, fixed by more than just a regular laborer over there. I mean, you have to
I
have.
don't know who's doing the job over there.
But never mind the heat thing, what about the sliding door and all the mold
Yeah.
and all the water that's been coming through within, this is the 4th year going on living there?
Yes.
This is crazy. And then we're doing court on the 8th, because they're taking us to court again. Not that we don't have the rent, because we do. That's not a problem. But we already have a case going against them, because this is ridiculous. And they said, well, we'll come back, we'll fix that. They came in December. They never came back. They just addressed the heat and said, well, we'll be back after the holidays. And that was it. So now you got all this mold. This is going across the bottom of the whole sliding door, coming up the side, all this crap, and the water still comes in. And supposedly, I seen them out there. I took pictures of them coming up on the balcony, climbing over with a ladder, supposedly fixing that. The rodent problem, they're not even going to address that until something comes through somebody's wall somewhere. These things are unbelievable. Digging, you can hear, I taped it. We video recorded it. They're scratching and they're digging. So what's going to happen? I mean, one day you're just going to wake up and find something running around in your apartment? This is crazy.
All right, our manager will deal with that in the morning for you. He'll get it on it first thing when he's in.
Have you guys invoked the health department? Monmouth County Health Department?
Just came straight to y'all.
We're gonna have to bring them involved because with the mold, the low heat, and the rodents.
Them rodents.
Yeah,
Wait till you
But
hear 'em.
is that a state issue?
Monmouth County Health Department.
Okay, because they said they got some rule on it that since it's private, the state don't have no involvement in it.
Yeah.
Or involved in it.
Let me take a look at the Monmouth County Health Department and see if they'll get involved and come in.
That's what they told us.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
We're gonna hit every avenue we can because this is absurd.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
We're sorry
Thank you.
about that.
Yep.
Anyone else wishing to be heard? Seeing none, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Meeting adjourned.
Not a lot of position.